진짜 왔어.
아, 네네.
You know, I want to be unconventional. I don't really think I should say anything because I think we should hear from our president. What do you think? Come on.
So thank you very much. This is a nice little group. Mercedes, great people, patriots. They've done a fantastic job with Cpac, and it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be at the most beautiful house in America, they say. This was built by Marjorie Meriwether Post at E.F. Hubbard, and in the mid-20s, the roaring 20s, and then the roaring 20s came to a big crash, a big, ugly crash, and a lot of bad things happened, but she always had, is that Sebastian? Yes. We're working on giving him a very big position, but let's not tell anybody, okay? He's been loyal from day one, that guy didn't stop, right, Sebastian? Even that redhead, so happy. But I just think it's really, I don't do this often, I don't like people to use the place, except when I think they're exceptional. This is really an exceptional group. They've been with me from the beginning. It sort of started with Cpac. I made a speech, and I got voted as the best speaker by far. And when was it? What was the year? 2013. And you know, they had that crazy straw poll and had all these polls, and I got voted the best speaker. I said, oh, with all the senators, they all came in and spoke, and the Congress people and all. And they were speaking their hearts out, and then I heard Trump got voted the best speaker. I said, maybe I should run for office. A little tiny bit to do. I wanted to thank, I mean, you have so many great people, but the Speaker Mike Johnson, anybody chance? Because where is he? He is so incredible. We got to have up here. Come on. We just got a unanimous vote. And you can get the Republicans in Congress to be unanimous on anything you do. But he just got a unanimous vote. And I think he's just an incredible guy. I watched him take apart the young lady on NBC, Kristen Walker. It was brutal. And he did it with a smile. He did it with a smile. Where's Mike? Is he there?
He's coming around.
Oh, smart. See? He took this young lady apart. She thought she was going to play cute with him, and it was a little bit vulnerable because it was talk about the problems in the Republican House. And not only did he take her apart, he put everything together. And as you know, 2 days ago, he got a unanimous vote for people that aren't used to that. In fact, I think the media was shocked. But I'm with him all the way. He's a very special guy. We had a couple of bad days. We had a majority of one. You ever try that sometime? We actually got around that. We're guys were big. See, there was a crazy Herbie. It's Herbie. Herbie's working out of cash. He's got no cash problem. I can tell you that. We got a lot of friends in here, Mike. I'd like to have the speaker just say a few words. I'm just a big fan of his. I'm a supporter of his, and he's done a really fantastic job. And we're working together really well, and we're working with the Senate really well. John Kuhn is that's good, and I think doing very good. What's been happening with him, so we'll see. But we had an election, the likes of which nobody's seen. They called it the most consequential election in 129 years.
Everybody is so excited around the country. And after I was in nonstop for the last year, I left it all in the field. I'm going to just tell you a quick anecdote why we did that. About months ago now, maybe 2-3 months ago, we wound up at the backstage at the Washington Hilton in D.C. And as you know, the president traveled nonstop around the country, everywhere. The rallies and events and fundraisers and everything he had to do to make this happen. And on this particular day, we've been, I think, by my count, we've been in 3 states and have done 5 major events. It's late at night, 10:45 p.m. And we met back in the green room in the City Hotel in Washington, just to touch gloves real quick and then go out again at the different swing states. And we were talking about strategy on some things. This staff came in and tapped on the shoulder and said, Mr. President, we gotta go. I pilots are going to sign out. And so we stood up and the buttons were open. He was about to walk out, and I just was standing there. It's like the light of God was over him. I'm serious. And I thought, it was so inspiring. I said, Mr. President, I just want to say, what an inspiration you are to us, because you don't have to do this, sir. You've got a pretty nice life here. You don't have to do it. Why? Why are you doing it all the field? He said, you know what, he sat back down in the chair, put his hands on his knees and leaned in and said, Mike, listen, I'm not going to do it in your voice, but I do a pretty good impression. He said, right? He said, right. He said, Mike, we're going to leave it all on the field. He said, I told my staff to book out every hour of every day from now to the election because the stakes are so high. He said, Mike, what if we lost? What if we lost? We would never be able to forgive ourselves. I would ask myself forever, what if I did one more rally, talked to one more group, shook one more hand, and I said, wow, that was so inspiring to me. He got up, cut his coat, and walked out, and I just kind of stood there and all. The next morning, we had all the House Republicans together for breakfast. That was on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. I had them all together at breakfast, and I told them my story. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, if our nominee for president can do that, and leave it all on the field and risk everything and take literal bullets for us, every single one of us that is the same thing. Inspired all the House Republicans to go out, all these extraordinary candidates that we did, inspired all of us to do everything that we did. We left it, you guys left it all for all of us. And it made a difference. And I get accused of over-spiritualizing everything, man. But I'm telling you, I am absolutely convinced that God is not done with America. And I believe God has chosen this man to lead us on so great.
So also, you know, the worst thing is look at those the little notes. I said, give me notes as to who's here. They leave so many people out, and I'm always embarrassed. You know, I introduced congressmen, and I see 4 congressmen I didn't introduce who are women. But we have Byron Donalds here. First, Byron, who's a fantastic guy, a great guy. Thank you, Byron. Thank you, a great guy. Rick Grinnell, I believe, is here someplace. Rick is here. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Vivek, where's Vivek? Vivek, does he have enough energy? He's working with Elon on efficiency. Efficiency could be about $2.5 trillion, right? That's a lot of efficiency. And we're going to do something. I know Steve Bannon spoke before, and I heard he was terrific. Cash Patel is here someplace. Where's Cash? Hi, Cash. Hello, Cash. Thank you. And RNC is Michael Watley here? Yeah. And that guy, where is he? He's over there. Michael, you gotta come here, Michael. This guy was a machine. The reason I picked him is that I have some big disputes about the 2020 election, as you may have heard. Because we were leaving Pennsylvania, that's why we were a little bit yippy the other night, because we were leading by a lot, and I did that before. Only to see it go like fall off the table. But North Carolina, the Republican chairman, he was chairman of the Republican Party in North Carolina. It went like a rocket. It didn't go down. It kept going. And others were beautiful. Pew, beautiful, pew. Not that we can be. By the way, I have to say this, that one of the many things that the election proved, and we won in terms of total votes, we won the 7 swing states, we won in massive numbers, the biggest numbers that they've ever had. And think of it, 129 is the most consequential. It was a mandate like we've never heard. But one of the minor things that it proved was that we won the 2020 election. That's what it proved. Because mathematically it would be impossible to have gotten 81 million votes from the basement. But we go on, right? We go on. We'll see what happens to that. But it's a very terrible thing. But so we're going along, and I'm winning Pennsylvania by so much it was over. So why don't they call Pennsylvania? 73% of the vote was in. We were winning by hundreds of thousands. I didn't want to give you the number because it seems ridiculous. Then all of a sudden, oh, they found something. Oh, now we're tied. And now we're. And by the way, speaking of that, is our great Carol Lake here? Carrie, you did great. I don't know what to tell you.
점령을 하고 있습니다. 저는 맨 앞줄에 있습니다.
And it's too bad. It's just too bad. I mean, she worked so hard, and we won by a lot. There was no reason why we didn't have a better outcome. And some others, by the way. If you look at Michigan, we won Michigan in a landslide. We had a certain gentleman who did a good job, and he didn't quite get there. And, Las Vegas, Nevada was great. Sam Brown didn't quite make it, but he missed by so little. It's just so bad. It's so wrong. But I just want to tell you, you did a great job. You did a great job, Carol, and we appreciate it. Anyway, so I'm watching these senators fall off the table, but one that didn't was a place called North Carolina, which we won for the third consecutive time by a lot. And the chairman, I said, who the hell is the chairman of North Carolina? They said, Watley. I said, yeah, he's a good guy. But he kept it. He had 603 lawyers, right? 600. This is for state. By the way, we had over 1,000 lawyers watching the presidential election. Over 1,000. I said, listen, I'm only interested in one thing. We don't need votes. All we need is honesty. And I want a guy that can guard the vote. I said, I want somebody to guard the vote. And he was the guy, because his thing went just like that, never moved at 3:02 or whatever the time was. The other ones, literally, it was terrible. And I said, I want him to run the whole shebang. And then we got Laura involved, and nobody said, oh, gee, nepotism. They actually said, I can't believe she's doing it. She was so competent, Eric's wife. She was so competent, did such an unbelievable job, the two of them, and they essentially chaired. The two of them ran it, and man, they were like a machine. And they heard a lot of bad things happening that night, and they had lawyers there, but long before that night, you had it set, and it was very hard for them to do anything. And their focus was on the president, but they were watching the Senate too. And I don't think you're too happy about the Senate stuff that happened, but we did take a hell of it. What are we, 53 or 54? That's a big number. We would have taken that, but we did really well in some other races too. But I'd like to ask Michael to say a few words, because he was unbelievable. He was an absolute machine. There were no games. How many lawyers did you have working that night?
6,500.
Wow.
They didn't know what the hell was happening. We caught him cheating a lot. We caught in Pennsylvania 2,600 votes that were all signed by the same person. That's a strange thing. I don't even know. I hope you pursue it.
부정선거 진실되고.
We caught 32,000 red flagged in Milwaukee. But the good news is we won by so much it didn't matter. We won by hundreds of thousands of votes. Think of it, all seven. And then in terms of groups, by the way, we did great with women. Thank God I did great with women. I think they always did great. And then I said, we're going to protect our women. We're going to protect them. And the radical left said, how dare he say that? I said, no, I think it's a good thing to say that. And so we took some little votes. Does anybody want protection? Who does not want protection? We had 38,000 people. There wasn't one woman that raised their hand, but we had an unbelievable run. And we outworked them. You know, I said, Michael, I was telling Michael before, I went 62 days with no sleep, no this, no that. All we did was speeches, rallies. We did some other things, interviews all over the place. And every interview, remember, is trying to get you one word. Is a dangerous business. One word and you're out of business. One word said a little bit incorrectly. We had an event at Madison Square Garden that was unbelievable. We filled up the place, 26,000 people, but more importantly, you could have, with the people that couldn't get in, you could have filled it up 10 times. And you know, Madison Square Garden is big time stuff. The owner said, a great guy, Jim said to me, I said, we've never seen anything like it. They have all the big championships, all the ice hockey, all the everything. It's probably mecca for sports and lots of other things they've done. We had tens of thousands of people, all the way down to the Hudson River, all the way back up. They've never seen anything like it. We could have filled it up probably 10 times. And we said, look at this, look how beautiful. And they had, and it was a huge story. And we had one comedian, I don't think he mentioned, he's a comedian. He mentioned one thing about the great people of Puerto Rico, and they're great people, right? There's one right there, I know you. He's the king of Puerto Rico. And I love the people of Puerto Rico. I love all of our people, but I love the
사람들이
people.
다 봤습니다.
They made that into, they took that ridicule from a comedian who was early on, and they made that into such a big deal. And you know the end result? We got the highest Hispanic vote in the history of the This guy, I mean, I worked literally, I guess 23, 22, 20 hours a day, and just over and over again. People said, how are you doing that? He worked just as hard as I did. And I wanted to say a few words because he's really outstanding. And he's going to be, he could go anywhere, honestly. But I said, what I'd really like you to do is stay exactly where you are. You know, we have another election coming up in 2 years, and we want to pick up a lot of seats in the House. I don't think our friend over here would. I think you want to keep him right where he is, right? She said, please stay. We beg you, please stay. So I'd like you to say a few words, Mike. I'll tell him a little bit about the experience, and really great job. Great job. He protected the vote. Thanks.
You know, 9 years ago, this man came down the escalator in New York. You may have all seen it. And he said that he was going to make America great again by keeping our economy strong, by rebuilding our economy, by restoring our southern border, by making sure that as a country we're going to be strong enough to protect our interests and our allies around the world, and by keeping our communities safe. After he won that historic election in 2016, that is exactly what he did for 4 years. And right now, because of our historic win, because of the amazing job that you did in every single one of those battleground states and every state across the country, we are in a position again to restore our southern border, rebuild our economy, protect our interests and allies around the world, keep our communities safe, and make America great again. And that would not happen without all of you and your support. And Matt and Mercedes, thank you so much for Cpac and everything you've done. But I'll tell you that one of the great stories of my time on this campaign was we woke up and left Palm Beach at 6 a.m. and flew out to Phoenix for a rally. We did that rally, we flew up to San Francisco, had an hour-long commute down into a dinner, raised $12 million in one night, drove back up to San Francisco airport, and we're flying down to LA. It's 12:30 Pacific time, 3:30 Eastern time. We got on the plane here at 6. And the president looks over at me and he says, hey, Michael. I said, yes, sir. I said, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Gotta tell you, my reaction to where we are today because of this man, it's pretty cool. Thank you.
So we have a delicious dinner and a beautiful bowl that I actually built. I built it for my wedding, and I never took it down. I said, I'm not taking that down. A lot of people said, oh, maybe you'll take it down. No, we're not taking that like that. But it's turned out to be great. We raised more money for charity and politics, I guess, but for charity than any place in the world. But part of it's the house, and a big part of it's Palm Beach. People are very generous around here. Even total killers, some horrible, vicious killers, but they all contribute a lot of money. Some do it because they want their name in the shiny sheet, and some do it because they're really good people. But they are rich as hell, and they contribute a lot. But I just want to thank you. We don't have to go over all the things we did, what we're going to do, you know, what we're doing with the border, and all of the things, the economy. We just had a big announcement today. Doug Burgum, I don't know if that's here, he was here for a while. We're in charge of the here, because he was here. We just took some pictures back, but I said, this is now time, you gotta go. And we just named him Secretary of the Interior, but also the head of energy, because we have a Department of Energy, but the energy really is in the interior, so it got a little complicated. Probably that's why they never drilled too much. But we also just named him, and he's going to be named, he's the best energy person they say anywhere in the world. His name is going to be mentioned tomorrow. We're going to put out a release, but he's going to be the head of the Department of Energy, and he's a great friend of Doug. They're going to have a partnership essentially, and Department of Energy and the interior. But isn't that interesting? All the oil's under the interior. It's not under energy. You know, it's under Department of Energy is the nuclear stuff, and that's fine too. We'll be good with that. I'm not so sure we're going to be too keen on windmills anymore. It's just fine. When the wind doesn't blow, you're dead, and when it does blow, it kills all your birds. I don't think it's not too good. But we're going to have a great country. We're going to bring it back to health. We're going to bring it back economically. We're going to bring back the strongest borders in the world, and we're going to let a lot of people come in. Mike, we're going to let a lot of people come in, and they just have to come in legally, right? They have to come in legally. You know, we won the election because people got into the voter booth and they said, you know, Trump doesn't want to have other countries emptying their jails into the United States. He doesn't want to have a country emptying its mental institutions and insane asylums into the United States. And I always mention Hannibal Lecter, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, not a nice thing for those of you that are a Silence of the Lamb fan, and those of you that are, you're scared to mention it. We don't want to have, and the press would always say, why would he mention that? That has nothing to do. He must be cognitively imbalanced. These people are sick. And I said, no. I mentioned insane asylum and people coming in, and he's a representative of that group. And they got into the voting booth and they said, we don't want to have men playing in women's sports. We don't want to have trans operations for everybody that happens to be walking down the street. And we want to have a country based on common sense again. You know, we're the party of common sense. And they got into the voting booth and they said, you know, I agree with Trump on everything. And they voted for us in numbers that nobody thought even possible. You know, they said, oh, the election's going to be close. The election was over by 9:15. It was only a question of how big, and then we got even hotter. Then it exploded. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing to see. But we have a mandate, Mike, the likes of which nobody's had for 125, 129 years, as they say. And we're going to do a real job. We're going to work very hard. And I want to thank you for supporting us and Cpac and everybody else. And have a good time, enjoy the dinner, that great food. They didn't choose for the food, I will tell you. They went all that. And we very much appreciate your support. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
지금 트럼프 대통령이 사람들이 지금 저는 아닌 바로 앞에 있었습니다.